Okay, hello everyone, and I hope you guys are all having a good weekend. It's Saturday the 18th. Now, I don't do a lot of videos, but I thought I'd do one so we can wrap up this first fortnight of the challenge. Now, remember, we started after the new year, so like 6th of January, and we're going on until about 4th of March. So a few things we need to just recap and always do a post-mortem so we know where we're going. So let's take a look. Let's share my screen and we'll go over some basic stuff. Now, as you know, if you're learning from me, if you've taken the coaching, I've also put a nice video on why we all need coaching, right? Including myself, I need coaching too, because we all need coaching because it allows us to look at things from a different perspective and it keeps us on track. And this is actually why I thought I'd do the challenge as well, because we have a few guys who are new and they've taken the coaching program, and I thought this might be a good start for the year so we can kind of like keep on track, you know, like we can measure ourselves, see what we're doing right and also see what we're doing wrong and see how we can, like, you know, correct that, amend it and so on. Now, let's get started. First of all, one of the most important things obviously is a trading journal. This is the one I put on Amazon. I put a trading journal on there because I find that this is the most difficult thing for people to do in trading, believe it or not. Okay, so I printed one out, I prepared one, did a book and just put it on there. But I also sent each and every one of you the PDF version, so you don't have to buy it. Okay, but some people like it as a book, some people don't mind printing it, and I actually printed mine because it came out after the challenge started. All right, so I've got mine here. So it's the same thing. Okay, and as you can see, I've filled in my first trade and my second trade. I took 2 trades. Okay, so hopefully we'll take a few more. Now, why did I take 2 trades? Last week, Monday, I took Altan, my son, to the dentist. On Wednesday, he had his school play, and on Friday, again, I took him to the doctor. So this whole week has been like all over the place. It was a bit of a mess, and I work from home, as you know, and when you work from home, maybe you're familiar with the situation. The wife thinks you're retired, okay, but we're not, right? But this is the most important thing. All right, you got to keep a trading journal, and once I finish this one, I'm going to order it for myself as well, actually, because I want to just keep it as books in the library so I can track myself all the time. And let's now also take a look at how we need to start. Now, with every week, you know that we've got the whole week here, all right, and we've got the swing days and the swing hours. They're all there before the week. In fact, we're already done up to the 31st of January. So until the end of the month, all the swing days and so on are there. And I'm working on February as well. So we'll be doing a bit of work on that today. And also I want to finish February. So the whole month is ahead of us. Now, what you need to note is the swing hours and the swing days, they're already there. So you got to journal them according to your timing. Okay, wherever you're living, because some people are in Asia, some people are in the Pacific, some people are in the US, some in Europe, and so on. We even have some people in Africa, right? So the time zones are different. So you got to match the time, okay, with that time converter page I gave you. You all know about. You need to match when it's going to happen. Now, once you match them, okay, then there's a video under everything. With the videos, the most important thing about the videos is to note down the PST pricing. Okay, so the pricing we have for the month, the week, the day, those are important, because if the market is going somewhere and we understand it's a swing day and it's heading towards a PST level and the trend is, like, you know, going up, or it's more likely to go up, then that's the place where we want to trade with price and time. Okay, this is why the videos are important, and I do them daily. Now, normally I don't work on Fridays, but during the duration of this challenge until March, what I am going to do is I will be doing a video every Friday as well. Okay, so it's important to kind of like find out where those PST levels are, and if you're using MetaTrader 4, you can always get that software for your MetaTrader 4. And the other thing is, again, very important for us, is the news, right? So the first thing you have to look out for is the news during the week, okay? Normally it's good to take a track of the full week, So in your journal, you can say it's a news week. You can actually fill out your whole journal for the week with the news days and the hours and so on if you want to. That's fine. The reason the hours are important here is, look, we have news coming out at 4:30, all right? All the time it's at 4:30. And if you take a look at your swing hours, you're going to find pre-news and after the news events. Okay, this is Tuesday. Look at Monday. Pre-news, after the news. So obviously something's happening in the news that's taking us to after the news. And if I do want to trade, that's the hour I need to look out for. So, or if I do want to trade, I can straddle the trade if you know how to straddle. Okay, I don't recommend it unless you are really good at your trading and you've got some buffer zone in your account. All right, so normally I don't teach straddling unless somebody really asks for it, because it's not safe unless you really know what you're doing. But in the videos I did mention it because some people out there do know what they're doing. They do know what they are doing. Okay, and they're pretty good at it, so it's also okay to do so. Or you can trade one side as well, and if it goes in your direction, great, and if it doesn't, well, that's okay too. All right, you've just missed on an opportunity, but that's fine because there's an opportunity every day. So if you look at also on Wednesday, for example, we've got hours at 5. So obviously after the news, okay, the market heads up to 5 o'clock, and then, you know, if the market turns or continues, it should go to 9:15. So we'll take a look at these examples in a minute, but what you should know is that these news hours are important. Also on Thursday too, you can see we've got a pre-news setup, 3:55, 10 past 3 to 3:55, and then once the market takes direction, you see it heads until 7:50 or 8 o'clock, or you know, whatever. So you need to keep a track of what's going on. So let's take this off, okay, and I'm also going to put this down, okay, and now let's take a look at the chart and let's do it. So this is SP 500. Now with news, more often than not, it's SP 500 that's making the major moves. Okay, so if you want to trade it, let's just put this up here. Okay, and if you want to trade it, obviously, you know, you got to start putting in the hours. Okay, so the first things first. Now, if you recall, the swing day for SP 500, yeah, it was Wednesday, all right, and with Dow Jones it was Wednesday and Thursday. So here we are, okay, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, all right. So market is breaking out, and that's the big day. Remember, it's either going to be a swing day or a big push day, and if we're on the edge, and remember, this is where we are, okay, the market breaks out and it just keeps pushing. So once it breaks out with a big push, you also don't want to stand in front of it on Thursday, okay, but if you did, because it was a swing day, it's okay, you can do that, okay. The important thing here is to know the hours, because if you know the hours, your risk is really, really small, and that's what also I'm going to demonstrate. All right, so we've got the weekly, we've got the monthly, and you can see we've got the pricing here. Now, once the PST breaks, I normally say, and I usually say, don't stand in front of it. Okay, don't stand in front of it unless we see something to the contrary. And what that contrary was, the PST breakout on the daily pushing up, and this zone, the market being stable at this support zone here. This is why PST is important, because if it breaks levels, you're in on the game early, and once it breaks out, that's it, you know, you're just going to push for it and so on. And on the weekly as well, we should also have targets, which was this HCL 15925 was a target, and that 5925, this is Friday, that's 5925, remember we did on Wednesday. All right, so this is our Wednesday here. Let's do this here. Now what a straddle is, let me get rid of these. Let's get rid of that. A straddle is this, when the market is really just waiting for the news. See, this is the setup time, right? If I just do this. This is setup hours, okay? And let's put this here. And this is exactly when the news came out there, right? The straddle means, if you want to straddle the trade, okay, if you want to straddle the trade, what you have to do is mark a high, mark a low, okay, and then you enter your trade orders just above and below. Whichever direction it goes into, you enter the trade. Now, what's the problem with that? Sometimes it can do both ways and you get stopped out on both. Obviously not a good idea. But if the market is breaking up, then your bias can be to the upside and you can just put your trade order above there. So if it does push up, then it goes in your direction. Another question, well, how far are we going to go? Okay, and that's why we're using time. So if you think about it, let's get rid of all of that. Now look what happens here. If I know the next time the market has got a swing hour, I can obviously mark this hour as a target into there. And then I can say, you know what, I'm getting out. Okay, I'm getting out. I took my money. This was news. We're out of the game, and that's fine. So putting in the hours is fine. Now, sometimes, okay, that's your straddle zone. Sometimes, if you've learned also the timing from me, then you know, if there's a one-sided time zone, then, that's it. This is where we're going to go. All right. And then the market just pushes in that direction. If you don't have too many hours and it's a straight move, then that's fine. Sometimes you have a few timing applications there, and then you don't want to muck around. Okay, you just don't want to. Why? Because it will go up, and then the time will be quick. It'll come back down, and then it'll go up. So then knowing these hours is important as well. So you just want to go to the hour, get out, come back, go back in that direction. So this is why understanding time is really important, and knowing what to do with that time at that time is really important. Okay, and that's how you straddle the trade. Like I said, I only recommend it if you know what you're doing in terms of price and timing. If you don't know timing, don't do it. Okay, just don't do it, because you're not going to be able to read what's coming afterwards. Okay, and that's an important thing. Also, for example, a good example was gold. Okay, if we take a look at gold, you will see with gold it was a really good opportunity. Why? Because on gold we had a weekly PST level here, or I can actually say here. Look, we had a good PST level here. All right, this was a price of, as you can see, that's 56.47, which translates to this one here. Okay, 2,656. Now, if you take a look at 2,656 on your 15-minute chart, that was on a Monday. Let's go to Monday. Here. All right. And in fact, I posted this because it was a PST hour. It was like really nice and clean. Okay. So PST price right here at the trading hour. Okay. This is great if you're in New York, or if you're in the US, that's perfect. For me, that was like, okay, bad timing for me because it's bedtime. Okay. But if you think about it, this is really good. Now, if you're in Asia, Europe, or like me in a bad time zone when it comes to New York, what you can do is this. You can wait for the next day. Why? Because the market tends to retrace. And look what happened. Market goes up, nice and easy. Bounces up from there to a trading hour again. Okay, comes down here. That's a trading hour. going up. It's another trading hour. Market going up. News, okay. After the news, this is the place. Why? Because it comes back right into your demand zone. Okay. And it's pretty close to your PST level right there. Okay. So it's pretty close. That's the PST. That's the level. This is the trading hour. So you go in. Now, when you go in here, somebody asked me, well, what do you mean with low risk? Well, look, if this is the hour and I'm going in here, or I'm going in on the next bar, the stop loss should be under the low. If the stop loss is too far out and there are no gaps, then you can put the stop loss under the low of the previous bar if there are no gaps. If there are, you can wait for the gap to fill, or you can put your stop loss under the low and just let it go. Just say, you know what, that's it, I'm not touching it. Okay. Once the market moves in your direction, you can cover the trade. Once you cover the trade, there are two things you can do. One is put the stop loss higher. The other one is say, I'm not touching it, because sometimes the market does come back for a retest and then goes up. And if you put your stop up, you get stopped out. Okay, with a profit, but still you get stopped out and you're missing out on the big move, which is going all the way in there. Now remember, that is all happening on a swing day. Okay, why? Because if you think about it, let's open it up. The swing day for gold is a Monday. All right, so we've got Monday to Friday. So here we are on a Monday. Market falls on a Monday, comes to a PST weekly level, and then the market buys at the trading hour on a PST weekly, which is strong. Okay, and if you think about it, on the one hand, this was a bit tricky because we had the 37.5 here. So market selling here was logical. But also I did say, guys, you have to be careful because this is a higher high, higher low situation. Okay, the market does come back, wants to go back up. Weekly pivot is a good level. Comes there at the trading hour and then goes all the way up into Friday. And Friday is a swing day. Market closes lower. It's fine. Okay. And that's the kind of follow through you need to do and you need to learn. Okay, so now you make good use of the environment. If you have questions, ask, because sooner, well, this year in April, I'm going to move to Mighty Networks. And if we go on to Mighty Networks, we're going to be in this networking mode, or if I find something better, I'll do it there. Okay, and there the interaction is going to help us to keep on track, and then we can bounce off from each other. So now if you're using the club environment, it's going to be fine. You can, go in there and make use of all the information, have a chat with everyone, put your opinions forward, and then, that kind of like gives us a preparation when we go into a more interactive zone. Because interactivity, then what builds this coaching system is that we're all interactive there together. Okay, and then we bounce off from each other, and it makes us accountable as well. So using the swing day, using the PST pricing and the swing hours, the trading hours, all of them together just lands you a great opportunity. This means you don't have to trade every day. Right? So sometimes people say, well, we need to trade. Yeah, okay, we need to trade, but we need to trade at the right time, at the right place. Okay, right place, right price at the right time. So if you want to just trade anywhere, anyhow, you're just going to get yourself into trouble. Don't. Okay, so make note of the PST hours that I do in the videos, because that's why I actually do the daily videos. Because most of you took coaching, you guys know how I look at the market. So you're not going to really look at it much more, any different than I am, maybe slightly here and there. But what's really important is the PST pricing. We understand the price, we understand the time, we understand the swing day. This is it. This is where I'm going to go. And the whole idea is, look, when you go in, like I demonstrated, the most important thing here is how small the risk is. Because once you understand you bounced off the weekly, you can, in fact, the worst case scenario, the longest place you can put your stop loss is going to be down here, okay, under that low. That's the low, so your stop loss is going to be just slightly under there. If you entered here, it's going to be under here. Why? Because it's already bounced off from there. If it hadn't bounced off from there, you would have said, well, you know what, I'm going to keep it under the PST level. Fair enough, okay, but other than that, that's it. And look at what the market is doing once you're in a swing day at a PST hour. Because the risk is so small, your risk return is huge. Look at that, all the way from down here to all the way into 2,724. Okay, now maybe you might not have followed it all the way up there, but even if you went half that way, you're like 1 to 10. Okay, because you're putting like a $5 stop loss and getting like God knows how much from 2,667. Let's say you got in at 2,667. Let's say you put a 10 pip, $10 stop loss at 2,657. Okay, let's say you maxed out $10 from 2,667 to 17. That's already $40. That's 1 to 4 if you just followed it to 2,700, or 2,707, let's say, and so on. So your risk return is really, really good, and that should really pump up your account. Same thing with anything. If you take a look at euro dollar as well. Remember, with the euro dollar, we've been following it nicely. Okay, and I did say, got swing days. If we come back down, we want to go long with this. Okay, when it comes down. So hasn't really done that, but when it does, we're ready for it. So we were ready for it last week in the zone on Monday too. If you think about it, this is Monday, right in there. Okay, so we were already, excuse me, waiting for that zone to happen. And look, the goodbye kiss. 34 is the goodbye kiss. 1.0348 right here. 1.0348 is there, and that's your sell-off. When at the trading hour on a news day, which is Wednesday, you can't get any better than this in trading. You just can't. Okay, so understand the principles of our technical analysis. Understand PST pricing, match it to time. It won't get any better. I hope this video helps so that you can kind of like bring things together, because that's how it is. I don't do a lot of videos, but use it, check your examples, mark in your levels, and then you can time them with the price, and then that's the best way to trade. Any queries, questions, if you're in the club, let me know. I can also do this kind of video and go over it as well. It's not a problem. All right, all the best. Have a great weekend, and catch up Monday. And before Monday, remember to sit down before Monday, before the trading week opens, go over the news and make a plan for yourself as well. It's a short, small plan, and definitely don't forget to use your trading journal. All the best.